Hey, how's it going, geeks? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to get your Vega 64 hashing like an absolute beast. These guys right here are pretty darn difficult to get up and running properly. I have never struggled as much as I have with this card right here in a mining rig before. I've had multiple NVIDIA cards from the Maxwell Pascal series. I've had old Tahiti, AMD cards. I've had the 480s. I've had some 580s before, and I have never struggled with any card as much as I have with this guy right here. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to modify the registry. We're gonna put some custom power play tables to get our Vega 64 hashing as high as possible. And I'm also going to show you guys as a bonus how to get more than 4 cards up and running. People have had very limited success getting 4 cards up and running, but after doing a bit of research, I found a solution on Bitcoin Talk. And after like 8 hours or so, I managed to get my Vega 64 mining rig running with 6 cards. And later on, we'll see if we can get 7 cards up and running in the same system. But yeah, stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is uninstall our drivers. So we're going to download the latest version of DDU. And we are going to run the uninstaller. I'm obviously not going to be able to show you this since it's going to remove all the drivers and the system's going to restart. But it recommends that you boot into safe mode. I honestly never do this and I've never really noticed any problems, but to be on the safe side you do want to boot into safe mode before you run the uninstaller program. You're going to want to remove both NVIDIA and AMD drivers. Since we're going to be applying the registry modifications, the power play tables I should say, we're going to want to remove all the devices in the registry manager. So to be on the safe side, remove both AMD and NVIDIA drivers. As you can see on the left side right here, even though I'm running RX Vega, I can clearly see there's a 1070 Ti device being detected. And if we scroll further down, I can see a 1060, 1080, so there's a bunch of different ones. 370, and all of these devices are going to be saved in the registry. So we're going to want to delete everything out of there. So run both the NVIDIA and the AMD, and I'll show you guys what to do next. Alright, so we have a fresh installation of the blockchain drivers. The next thing we're going to want to do is navigate to this folder inside the registry manager. And the way we're going to do this is by hitting start. We're going to type run, enter, and inside this line right here we're going to type regedit, regedit, and we're going to hit enter. Here we're going to click yes, and we have all the folders right here, so we're going to follow this path. So let's see, we have HKey local machine, which is this folder, it's already expanded. And then we're going to hit system, so system right here, current control set, this guy right here, which is right here, control, and then class, control, just right here, and then we're gonna go into class, which is right here, and inside this folder we're gonna find this guy right here, this subfolder, 4D36 E962. So let's see. 4D36 E96 8. It's this guy right here. So we're gonna expand this. And in this folder right here, you should only have either 1 or 2 folders. If you have integrated graphics on your CPU, you're gonna have 2 with a fresh installation of drivers. That's if the driver uninstaller worked properly and removed everything else. So as you can see, we have 2 folders, 0000 and 0001. This first folder up here is, let's see if I can find it. Yep, it's our Intel HD graphics. So we are not going to do anything to this folder. You guys have to make sure 100% that the folder you're clicking is the proper one, because you could potentially ruin your Windows installation or damage your graphics card unintentionally. Although it's more likely you'll just mess up your Windows installation than the actual card itself. But so we're not gonna do anything with this because this is our Intel HD graphics. This is the folder we want down here, 0001. Right here, device description, Radeon RX Vega. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you could potentially have only one folder, just 0000, and your Radeon RX Vega could be this guy up here if you only have one folder, because you obviously don't have Intel HD graphics. But just make sure you click on the proper folder. So in this case, it's 0001. Alright, so after that, we are going to want to download our modded Vega registry. I'll have all the links down below, so you guys will be able to download them. Alright guys, so the next thing we're going to want to do is download the modified power play tables. These 2 power play tables right here were provided by Hella A. I think I'm pronouncing that properly, hopefully. We have our 1100 version on the left and our 1050. So far, every single RX Vega 64 I've bought has been able to run 1100 megahertz on the memory. But not all cards are the same, obviously, so you might get one where it starts crashing with 1100. So just in case, you're going to want to download both of them. But I'm going to be showing you guys how to apply the 1100. Although it's essentially the exact same process for the 1050. So we're going to hit download on both of these. I already have them right here, as you can see. And we are going to drag them both to our desktop. In this particular case, I'm going to show you guys how to run the 1100 one though. So I'm going to set this guy aside over here. And I want to show you guys something really fast before I apply this modified power play table. If we go back to our registry editor, we can see both of the folders I was talking about initially. In this particular case, folder 0001 is my Radeon RX Vega folder, which is why it's so important to make sure you know which folder it is, because the way we apply this is by hitting edit, run, and we are gonna change the number up here. As you can see, it's following this particular path. Which is what I showed you guys before, the H key local machine, system, current control, set, control, class, that given folder, and then the thing we're going to modify is these 4 digits back here. In this case, the folder we want to apply it to is 0001. So all we have to do is change this to 0001. Then we're going to hit File, Save. We're going to close this. And then all we have to do is double click it, hit Run. It's going to ask you for confirmation. And then you're going to hit Yes. And it's going to give you a success message afterwards. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright guys, before restarting the computer really fast, I want to show you the stock settings the card comes with. As you can see right here, we're able to adjust state 6 and state 7 only in our Radeon settings. These initial first, 6 states are locked. We're not able to modify the frequency or the voltage whatsoever. So you can drop this down fairly low, fairly close to what the modified power play table is gonna give you, but you're not gonna be able to drop these down here any lower. Once I restart the computer, you guys are gonna notice that this particular line is gonna be much lower. Like somewhere down here, it's gonna be way lower than this. So yeah, you could potentially get the same hash rate without applying the power play table, but you're gonna consume a whole lot of electricity, a whole lot more electricity doing so. So I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. Alright guys, so I just restarted the computer after applying the power play table, and I want to show you guys the difference in this curve down here. You guys remember prior to restarting the computer, this thing had a big spike up here, and you could not drop any of these down at all. And that's the beauty of using the registry to modify these settings, because otherwise these settings right here, you would not be able to drop them no matter what. So now we have a fairly low curve, and that's gonna make our card much more efficient. I always like to hit reset up here once the computer restarts to make sure everything got applied properly. So we're gonna want to hit dynamic for frequency and double check to make sure this is sitting at 1212 and this at 1407. We're gonna hit manual for voltage control, and this should be sitting at 905 for both of them. And our frequency is sitting at 1100, which is the file we applied over here, so that's good. Our voltage is at 900, which is also good. So everything got applied properly. You gotta make sure these 3 lines right here are sitting right. 1100, 905, and then these 2 numbers up here. So let's see what kind of hash rate we get out of this thing. So once you apply the power play tables, you don't have to modify anything. It's already been modified for you. So all you really do is just apply a fan speed to make sure your card doesn't catch on fire. So let's see what kind of numbers we get. So using the recording software was dropping the hash rate quite a bit, so I'm gonna have to use the phone for this. But you can notice we're still hashing well below 2000, and that's because we haven't toggled the HBCC, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that right now. Alright guys, so I'm about to show you the old school way on how to toggle the HBCC, but I found a way better way to do this, so I'm gonna show you both ways. So the way most people do it is by going into the AMD Radeon settings, hitting gaming, global settings, and on the left side right here, all they do is turn this off, turn it on, crank the bar all the way up, and hit apply. I'm not gonna hit apply because it's obviously gonna stop the recording. But yeah, that's the old school way of doing it. Other people will also go into the device manager. So going into this PC, right clicking it and hitting the manage. And in the device manager, all they do is just disable this and enable it again. And it'll reset the card and then it'll hash properly afterwards. But after a long time of researching, this took me so freaking long to figure out. I read through pages and pages in the Bitcoin Talk forum, and I found a way on how to automate all of that. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have all the links below where you can download all these files. We're going to download the Devcon executable, and we're going to create a batch file just like this. You can name it whatever you want, but in the inside we're going to apply these settings right here. So what this is essentially doing is disabling. So we're going to disable this hardware ID, and if we go inside the device manager, and we find our Radeon RX Vega card and hit properties, go to detail, hardware ID, we're telling the Devcon to disable any card that has this particular hardware ID. So this is the way you get more than 4 cards up and running. You disable them all at once, and then you tell the Devcon to wait 5 seconds. So you're gonna time out. You can modify this also, by the way. You can make it wait longer if you want. And you tell it to wait 5 seconds, and then it's gonna enable all of those hardware IDs once again. And I'm gonna show you guys a demo right now real quick. I'm gonna have to use the phone because the recording is gonna cut out. Alright, so I'm about to run this Vega 64 Devcon file to disable the card. You always want to run it as administrator, otherwise it's gonna fail to disable the card. So we're gonna click this, hit yes, and you can notice it's gonna wait for 5 seconds. Then the Devcon is gonna disable this particular hardware ID. It's gonna wait 5 more seconds, and it's gonna enable it once more. And it should be good to go now. Let's see what kind of hash rate we get now. Gonna hit open. So we were getting about 1200 before. Let's see what kind of numbers we get now. So it's already better so far. Boom, there we go. 2019, 2020. So there it is, guys. That's pretty much all there is to it. If you're adding more than one Vega 64, you want to make sure you disable crossfire. I struggled a lot with that. I totally forgot, and I spent a unnecessary amount of time trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with the system. And yeah, that's pretty much all you do. Get Vega 64 hashing over 2000 hashes per second. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I apologize if it was super long. There was just a lot to cover. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.